Steven!
Pachoo! We're starting early with this one.
It's midnight. Happy birthday, Steven.
Oh yeah, we're starting way early. The show has been only drip-feeding lore, but this whole episode is gonna dump a bucket of lore on your head. This is where everyone's current lore knowledge is gonna get checked.
The Earth, 5,750 years ago.
5,750. That's the most specific number we've heard so far. It's not over 6,000. I don't know where Garnet's origin fits into the rest of the war, but I think the idea is that the crystal gems were a new threat at this point. My previous guess of the war beginning 7,000 years ago is no longer accurate. This structure only appears in flashbacks. This isn't the Sky Arena or anywhere else we visit in the rest of the show. I have to wonder what the advantage is to have these things floating a mile above the ground. It doesn't give any protection from attacks. We'll see in a moment that Rose and Pearl are able to get up here no problem.
Among those gems was Sapphire, a rare aristocratic homeworld gem with the power to see into the future.
It's interesting that Garnet specifies that Sapphire is a homeworld gem. I'm gonna guess that she was made on homeworld and maybe the rubies were made somewhere else.
Assigned to her were 3 rubies. Common soldiers with a mission to protect her.
3 rubies. A few points on that. We learned that there are hundreds of other pearls out there, and now there's proof that there are more rubies. Now the assumption that there are multiple of each gem is pretty much fact. Not only that, we're learning that gems of the same type look nearly identical, minus the fact that their gems can be on different parts of their bodies. I'm not going to get into gem placements. There's a whole series of videos on that topic by Toon Snooper if you're into that. We've also learned from Peridot last episode that quartzes like amethyst are also soldiers. It seems like those are frontline soldiers, while rubies are more like military police or security. A lot of these background gems don't seem all that important or detailed, but this one kinda looks like lapis lazuli. I'm not saying it is her definitively, but it would be cool if it was.
Oh, come on. We'll punch them together when we fuse. That's why they said, 3 of us.
Rubies specialize in fusion, huh? That's pretty consistent throughout the show. We see ruby fusions several times. On that note, the show has kinda hinted that fusion in general is a taboo on Homeworld, but this episode ends up showing that's only the case for fusions of 2 different gems. I also gotta say, I love this art style. All of the characters being one color, only the important characters having extra details, the environments being interesting but not too distracting. As much as I love this show's environments, that's not what this story is about. The way this episode looks is one of the highlights overall.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm fine.
What?
It's okay. It was bound to happen.
Sapphire's future vision is a bit more rigid than Garnet's. As far as I can tell, Sapphire at all times can see an entire timeline, forward and back, with no variation in how things play out. If you asked her about destiny and fate, she would tell you that it's real and unchanging, and then she would tell you how and when you're gonna die. Of course, this is an inaccurate perception, and we'll see that as the episode goes on.
Sapphire had been called to Earth by Blue Diamond, specifically to share her vision of the future.
Blue Diamond? Peridot and Jasper have talked about Yellow Diamond in previous episodes, and now, like the other gems we're seeing, we're finding out that there are multiple diamonds. And it can be assumed that they're the leaders, with the throne and the palanquin and all the royal fanfare around her. The diamonds are the top dogs. And on the topic of pearls, check out Blue Diamond's pearl down here. Unlike the rubies, she looks different. Still a pointy nose and a similar figure, but she's definitely distinct.
Sapphire, tell me what will happen here.
I foresee the rebels attacking the Cloud Arena.
The fact that Sapphire had to be shuttled here makes me wonder why Blue Diamond doesn't have her own personal Sapphire with her at all times. Garnet said she's a rare gem, so she would probably be needed in different places all the time. Future Vision seems like a really powerful resource on a battlefield, but a huge risk if there are only like 10 Sapphires out there. We never actually learn the true number.
Immediately after my form is destroyed, the rebels will be captured.
I'm so glad she didn't say poof. Holy shit, that would have taken me out of the scene so bad.
Thank you, Sapphire, Blue Diamond said, relieved. That's all I needed to know.
I also like how this episode keeps Blue Diamond out of view just enough to keep her mysterious. Makes me think of the Fire Lord in Avatar, where his face was kept hidden for 2 whole seasons. It's a perfect tactic to make a viewer hungry for more information.
Blue Diamond, leave this planet. This colony will not be completed.
Rose Quartz's future vision is actually more accurate than Sapphire's. Damn.
We are are the crystal gems!
How do you think they got up here? I think Rose just has huge jumps. Maybe Pearl too, but Rose for sure. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this action scene. They succumb to that trope of cutting to black and only showing the little swooshes of the sword. I can see the intent here, though. They don't want the action to overshadow the moment that's coming later. Ancient Pearl design, kinda neat, but it's very basic. Not even a star. I don't think the crystal gems were established enough to have an emblem yet. Fusions of multiple of the same gem is just that gem but bigger. Got it, cool. It also seems easier for them to do it than for different gems. Or they just practiced it a lot, who knows.
No!
This is such a cool moment. It's not only Garnet's first moment of existence, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time two different gems fused. I think they just didn't try it on Homeworld, so nobody considered it would be possible. I also love Cotton Candy Garnet. It's such a cool design that symbolizes how she's all mixed up inside.
Let's go.
Bye!
Okay, bye, I guess. Just let the rebels get away. Everyone's gotta pay attention to Garnet now.
They'd never seen fusion of two different types of gems. Unbelievable. Disgusting. This is unheard of.
Cross-gem fusion being taboo makes a lot of sense when you consider the caste system I've been talking about the past few episodes. Gems are made to fill a certain role and are ranked depending on their importance. A high-ranking gem like Sapphire fusing with a low-ranking Ruby creates someone with no predetermined purpose and blurs the lines of the ranks. That's incredibly dangerous for an established dictatorship.
How dare you fuse with a member of my court?
Forgive me,
You will be broken for this.
Ah, shattering as a punishment. It's like the gem equivalent to execution. Kind of a genius way to allude to execution in a kid's show, without saying it or showing anyone with their head on a chopping block. Wow, they were all the way up above the cloud line. It was clear up there, but it's raining down here. Good thing Sapphire can kinda fly.
They were gonna break you. Who cares? There's tons of me!
I think Sapphire wouldn't have cared about Ruby being shattered if they hadn't fused. That might be the most obvious sentence anyone has ever uttered. But for that brief moment they were fused, they were on the same level. If that hadn't happened, Sapphire would still see herself as a high-ranking aristocrat. She was able to see herself as someone totally different, and Ruby was the secret ingredient.
And everything from that instant on was wrong and new. She couldn't see. She couldn't move. She was frozen.
You think there's some symbolism in this scene? I can't really tell. I came up with this question during one of the discussion streams, and this is a good opportunity as any to bring it up. Since a gem's clothing is part of their bodies, can they, feel it? Like, if someone touched the hem of Sapphire's dress, are there fucking nerve endings there? Or is it like hair where you'd have to really tug on it to feel anything? An extension to this question, if they can feel their clothing, can they feel their hair? This question's stupid. Don't answer any of that.
Thank you.
Do you think Ruby or Sapphire knew they had hot and cold powers before this? These are unprecedented events. It's a moment of self-discovery for both of them. Who's to say they aren't discovering these powers for the first time? A lot of people post a screenshot of this scene without the context from the last scene and then ask why they need a fire. They don't need a fire. The fire is incidental from the last scene. They probably wouldn't have built one if Ruby didn't accidentally start it.
I always thought, I never realized that fusion, that you disappear like that.
More evidence against those internal fusion dialogues that people always did for this show. It's not two gems in a trench coat. It never has been. There's no Ruby side and Sapphire side. It's Garnet. If there were two sides, I'm pretty sure they'd come undone.
I've never had a third eye before.
Yo, same? Is Ruby the most relatable character?
Where did we go? What did we do? I think we made something entirely new. And it wasn't quite me, and it wasn't quite you.
I love this song, but not without the visuals. All of the background art in this episode is fucking fantastic. The song, however, I could take it or leave it. If I made a playlist of Steven Universe songs I would listen to while driving or whatever, this would not make the cut. It's not even bad, it's just not my style. I had to let that part play out because even after what I just said, this is my favorite bit of this song. When they fuse into Garnet and the bass comes in, oh, that's good. Also, this is the motif from Stronger Than You. Everyone knows that one. You're not smart for figuring that one out. You're smart for other reasons. Give yourself some credit. Does this environment look familiar? I can't prove it, but I think this is the site of the fountain with all the rose bushes and the way they create a little skylight.
We didn't mean to fuse. Well, we did this time. We'll unfuse. We'll.
Listen to the fear in Garnet's voice. First of all, excellent voice acting in this whole episode. Estelle fucking killed it. But this is Rose Quartz, the leader of the Crystal Gems. An actual terrorist among this colony. Damn right you should be scared.
And there they were. Rose Quartz, the leader of the rebellion, and her terrifying renegade pearl.
Terrifying.
I don't upset you?
Who cares about how I feel? How you feel is bound to be much more interesting.
And here we see one key difference between Homeworld Gems and the Crystal Gems. Blue Diamond was ready to have Ruby executed and who knows what done to Sapphire. Rose Quartz is here like, oh shit, what up, you're cool. What's it like being this cool?
Why am I so sure that I'd rather be this than everything I was supposed to be? And that I'd rather do this than everything I was supposed to do?
Welcome to Earth.
Holy shit, she used this line. She used that line when she was talking to Peridot, when everything was confusing and backwards and all the rules made no sense. That was like only 2 episodes ago. How have I never put those pieces together before?
Can you tell me, how was Ruby able to alter fate? Why was Sapphire willing to give up everything? What am I?
No more questions. Don't ever question this. You already are the answer.
Garnet's tendency to not ask questions stems from this moment. The reason she can stay fused this whole time is because she's able to answer any question about herself that she might have. She has herself figured out. If she didn't, well, she'd split apart. You'll notice that every time, well, almost every time Garnet unfuses, it's because she doesn't have all the answers, and her composure is out the window. The first thing Ruby did in Keystone Motel was ask Sapphire a question. Some fans think that Rose Quartz was ordering her to not ask questions, but I think it's more of a creative writing exercise.
So, what was it? The answer.
They fused because they love each other. Remember when Garnet told Jamie that love at first sight doesn't exist? Meanwhile, Garnet's nearly 6,000-year existence is based on love at first sight. I don't know, that episode still bugs me. I like the sentiment, though, that love is so powerful it can keep 2 gems fused almost forever. It doesn't need saying in the show, it just needs a cool-ass character to represent it. Half Moon in the credits? It's probably pretty obvious, but I think this episode is fantastic. This was another episode nominated for an Emmy, but lost to the Robot Chicken Christmas special of all things. Personally, I would have given it to Hall of Egress, though. That's my favorite episode of Adventure Time. I would say this is one of the best in Season 2, like my top 2 or 3. We still haven't gotten to my favorite in the season. Part of it comes from the fact that this episode is a deluge of lore and Earth history. And, of course, Garnet's backstory, something that I didn't realize how much I wanted to hear before this episode. As much as I like it, I think this episode is where my interest in Garnet has peaked. Like I said earlier, Garnet has her shit figured out, and by the end of this episode, pretty much everything there is to know about her is revealed. There's not a lot of room left for character development, and there aren't any more big secrets waiting to be revealed. At least she gets a lot to do in the rest of the show. She never goes back to Season 1 levels of uninteresting. But if you want to see new videos from me a week before they premiere on YouTube, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description. Biggest shoutouts to my Grandmaster patrons, Scala LD, Grandmaster of the Coin Flip. They called heads 86 times in a row and got them all right. It was insane. And shoutouts to my master patrons, Anderson Hope, Master of Tying Knots, and Geeky Game Guru, Master of Untying Knots. And shoutouts to my journeyman patrons, Alicia in Nevada, Henri Wickers, Bippy121, Bob the Turtle 352, Boomblurp, Bright Galaxy, Cool Waffle, Dr. Moon, Fox Certified, GPW, Glingle123, Horsey Jumper, Castril, Lazarus, Loga, Marsh, Max Buchek, Netabag, Pachoo, Fizz the Way, the fizziest way that Fizz could ever weigh, Roberty, Sam Bishop, Silly Alien Lady, The Cloaked Goat, the Cloud Arena is such a cool structure that we never see again until Season 5, The One True Fusion, Wingo Dingo, Yotawo, and ZT the Fish Guy. Next episode is Steven's birthday, even though this episode was also Steven's birthday.